Good morning, Chaitali.
Good morning, Kritika. Nice meeting you.
So it's nice to see you again, and I'm taking this interview of Chaitali Sengupta because she is a woman entrepreneur, and I do it once a year for International Women's Day. I interview an international person who is an entrepreneur or a solopreneur. And let's see what Chaitali has to say today. So, welcome, Chaitali. Maybe you want to give a short introduction of yourself?
Yes, thank you so much. First of all, I thank the Between Two Cultures platform for choosing to talk with me as a international women entrepreneur for the interview conducted for the International Women's Day. En ik ben heel blij om dit gesprek te voeren met u, Kritika. And I wish everyone listening to this interview a very happy Women's Day in advance. So the theme of this year's International Women's Day is Inspire Inclusion. So may we all appreciate, celebrate, and understand women from all the different backgrounds. So I would start like that. And about myself, I am a language teacher that you all know. I am also a published author and a translator, a volunteer journalist. Today I'm going to talk only about the entrepreneurial part of it. I have this small online institute called On Point Communications. I give Dutch lessons, basiskennis Nederlands aan de hoogopgeleide migranten. Dus migranten die buiten de EU naar Nederland komen. En de meeste van mijn studenten zijn Indiërs, mensen die komen uit India. And I'm staying almost 24 years in the Netherlands now. And how did I come here? Well, I didn't come here of my own, it was not my own reason. So, my husband came to this country as a high-skilled knowledge migrant, and I simply followed him here. At that time, he was working with a multinational company. So it was not my own choice to come to this country. But when I came here, one of the first things I did was to enroll myself in a language school. And at that time, there was only one language school in Eindhoven, and I enrolled myself there because I always have this affinity. I have always had this affinity for the languages. When I came here to this country, I also carried with me my master's degree in English literature and language. So that is how I enrolled myself in to this in the language school here in Eindhoven, and I attended intensive NT2 courses, the NT2 taalprogramma, for over 2 years, and I qualified for the state level exams. And thereafter, I pursued Dutch studies in various other institutes, because I had to polish my speaking and writing skills, because I needed near perfect writing skills because of the type of work that I was doing. So that is a little bit about how I came here.
And you just said it was not your first choice to come to the Netherlands. How do you feel about it now after 24 years, you said? Almost 24 years?
Yeah.
Are you happy here, I hope? Settled?
Yes, I am happy here. I am also settled. I have made my home here. I have my family. I don't have my extended family here. My family members are spread all over the world, but most of them are in India. So yes, I do feel happy. I have started loving this country for its openness, for its love for flowers, for the innovation, and for its directness, you know, that open culture. So all those things have made me fall in love with this country.
Oh, that's very nice to hear. You already said a little bit about your solopreneur on point. Would you like to extend some more, tell us some more to the listeners about your business On Point? What motivated you to start it? And why the name On Point?
Well, that is the name actually came to me when I was just, trying to think, how am I going to name my company? When I have a company, when I register it, what should be the name? And I thought On Point also describes me a little bit. I want to be on point on whatever I say and do. So that is the reason I gave the name, that students who come here to learn the language from me, I am going to be very dedicated and committed to the language solutions. It will be on point, you know, like whatever they want me to do, whatever they are aiming for, I would help them to reach there. So that is the on point aspect of it. I registered my company in the year 2019. So this is my 4.5 years that I am in this journey. But I must also say that before that, I worked in this country as a finance professional for around almost 14-15 years, you know. So ik heb als finance professioneel bij Philips, bij de Rabobank, bij DLL en andere bedrijven gewerkt. En ik vond mijn werk leuk en ik heb in deze bedrijven veel geleerd. Vooral over bedrijfscultuur. And although my work was going well and I realized finally that this is not something what I want to do. I mean, I was doing it well. I had good team members and my team leads. In fact, I do have connection with them even now. But, you know, it was something was missing. I was not, it was like, I wasn't at the right place. It was that kind of a feeling, you know, every day when I came back from my work, I had this kind of a feeling. And by that time, I was also helping out a few of my acquaintances, you know, in taking their Dutch inburgering exams. Why I did that, why I was doing that was because these people, I know them very well. They were at that time trying to take the civic integration exams and they had nobody to practice with, you know, just like that. So they just said, Chaitali, you are fluent in this language, so can we just practice with you? And I said, yeah, okay, we can do that, you know, once in a while. So I was doing that, and while doing it, I also started to take interest in the curriculum that they have to study in order to prepare for this exam. And that teacher thing, because I used to be a teacher before I came to the Netherlands. So the teacher in me again resurrected, you know, kind of, and it started again playing with my ideas, with my feelings, with my motivation and everything. So, and the good part was this, that these acquaintances, they finally cleared their paper, you know, they finally cleared their inburgering exams. And they told me that if you can help us, why are you not thinking, you know, seriously about doing this, right? Yeah. So, so deze mensen haalden hun diploma en van hun andere mensen hoorden over mijn lessen. En, maar toen had ik mijn fulltime baan, 38 uur.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ja, en ik vroeg aan mijn teamleider en hij zei toen dat het is nu tijd. Jij moet één pad kiezen. Of jij blijft bij loondienst of de andere pad. And I chose then to leave my job, you know, and start my own business where I could give language classes to the knowledge migrants. En het was niet makkelijk. Het was helemaal niet makkelijk.
Wat is niet makkelijk?
Ja, want dat idee dat ik moet nu niet in loondienst blijven. Ik moet alles op mijn eigen rug dragen, zeg maar, en business oprichten. I was completely new to the idea.
Als ondernemer.
Als een ondernemer. Ja, want helping a few people, correcting their grammatical mistakes that they were making is a completely different thing than translating it into a business thing, right? So ik moest een businessplan inleveren, ik moest lesmaterialen maken, ik moest voor een plek zorgen waar ik les kon geven. Dus dat was helemaal een andere soort verhalen. And it took me a lot of time to bring everything together and prepare myself also to start this. So there were also many other things which I learned as I started taking steps towards this. And then the COVID pandemic came, if you remember, and the COVID pandemic also changed the way I was planning to do this, because my initial plan was not an online institute. The initial plan was to give language classes like I had learned, there would be physical, exactly, face to face. Yeah. And in fact, I was doing that before the COVID pandemic hit. But then the pandemic came and everybody went away. I had no students and everything was I had to rethink again the whole plan. So
improvise.
Yeah, that is how it started. Yeah.
Interesting. Yes. You're still giving lessons, right?
Yes, I am still giving lessons. There is always an up and down, like, okay, sometimes I have students, sometimes I am able to form groups, sometimes I do not have students, then yeah, okay, then there is a lull in the period, but I think that is very common in any business you do, and there will be like this, the up and down. Also, in the initial stages, nobody knew me, right? So I also had to build up credibility. Why would people come to me and start taking classes, right? So yeah, those were the initial hiccups, the initial challenges, the stages where I really had to sit and think again and again. Whether I am doing it correct, whether I should be doing it this way or I should be doing it in another way. So those parts were there. Also, I would also like to talk about the other aspects, So giving lesson as a teacher and the business aspect is completely different. Like, for example, when I'm teaching, I'm a teacher, but then because it is a eenmanszaak, er zijn ook andere dingen, andere aspecten, bijvoorbeeld budgeting of networking of het halen van jouw klanten, gesprek voeren met de klanten. These things I had no idea when I started, but these started coming into my path, and I understood that the teacher in me has to be separate than the person who is doing this, the business thing, and yeah, I was not very prepared for that. I will be very honest, I wasn't prepared for that, because teaching for me had always been a passion, so I was more interested in that passion aspect. I still am, but now I am learning that there is not only that passion aspect where you become the perfect teacher or you try to strive to help your students. There is that other aspect where you have to think about the invoicing, the debituren, the credituren, and all those things. Last thing, yeah, the accounting aspect of it. The costs. What are your costs? The entire thing. So, of course, my background in finance helped me a lot in doing this. But even then, business is different than giving classes. That's what I have understood in this. That's my biggest learning in this last 4 years.
It's nice to know that you're sharing about your own learning journey and not only about teaching. That's a nice combination, yeah. And how many students have you helped till now, or do they all pass the exams, or are there people who have to come back again?
See, I will tell you. I will put it like this. So there are. Suppose I teach say about 40 students in a year, roughly one estimate. Okay, out of 40, I would say almost 30 would definitely pass. Okay, because because right now there are 103 students who have followed my course, the way I teach, the curriculum that I have developed, and 103 students have cleared their Inburgering exam, and but then I have taught more than 103 students in this period of time, right? So it is different. Every batch is different. That's what also I have seen, because the not every student would absorb in similar fashion. I can give the classes, but the absorbing from the student side is always different. Some batches will go very fast, they will do they will progress very fast, and then there will be also batches where I will have to go slow. I will have to take everybody together so that they also benefit from the class. So it's never the same. It's never the same, and I like it that way.
Yeah. And you just said you had to switch over to online. Is it now online always, or do you also give one-on-one or face-to-face?
No, I would really like to give face-to-face, but I think that the mode of the students have changed completely after the COVID. People are more comfortable sitting at home, having a cup of coffee with them, and taking the classes, at their own.
In their pajamas.
Yeah, in their pajamas, of course. Yeah, and op hun eigen gemak thuis zitten. En combineren met allerlei andere werken. En so that comfort, they are not going to give it up. Yeah, that's it.
Would you like to share what is the, how do I say, the kracht, the power of your teaching? What is it that makes students, let's say, grasp and pass their exams?
Well, I think this question you should ask my students. Maybe they will be better prepared to give you the answer. But
I mean to say you have your own style of teaching. So what would you say is maybe different or very Chaitali way of teaching?
Okay, then I would put it
just
like
one
this.
Point is enough.
Yeah, see, most of my students, like I said, they are all coming from India, right? So since I grew up in India, and I know then that the kind of education they have followed, or the education system, how it teaches, how we were taught when we were, studying there. So I know their learning style, and I know their need. I also know their strong points, because the education system in India, when they are teaching, mostly, the emphasis is always there on grammar. So I know that if I can explain better grammar to them, they will be, it will be easier for them to pick up this language. So I know actually what they need, and maybe that is why they also feel a comfort level in coming to me and asking me the questions that they think that they would probably be hesitant in asking somewhere else. That is point number one. And point number two is because my classes, the initial classes are not given in Dutch. The initial classes are given in English, which should not be. I agree that because I myself didn't learn that way. When I was learning, I learned Dutch in Dutch. I mean, that's how it should be, right? But I don't do that for two reasons, because I have tried that, and I saw that the tempo of the class is very slow. I have to repeat because they don't know anything, the beginners. But once they cross the beginner's threshold, then I try to bring the language thing. Then I try to speak in Dutch. I try to engage them and encourage them also to speak in Dutch, because by that time they have understood the basic Dutch grammar. They also feel more confident to interact in the class. So I think those are the reasons probably why, the kracht, so to say.
Very interesting. Yeah, I can imagine that they find a similar background to connect with. That's how you make connections, yeah. And also that you don't immediately start in Dutch. First making them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Building up the relation. All very important stuff, I should say. Helps a lot.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something to the students as motivation or future clients who are also thinking of taking a Dutch class or not taking a Dutch class?
Yes, definitely. I would like to take this opportunity to tell my students that they also motivate me a lot. You know, it is, people think that, I'm taking classes, I'm giving classes, and that is motivating to a lot of people. And I really appreciate that feeling. But I must tell my students that when I see how they are persevering, I have seen students who did not know even the basic pronunciation of Dutch, of the alphabets in Dutch. From there, when they progress to their A2 level or B0 level, I really am amazed to see the kind of perseverance that they put and the kind of hard work that they put, because Dutch is not a very easy language. It is quite challenging, in fact. And secondly, what motivates me is that when I see that after learning the language, they are, more confident in this journey of integration, because integratie is een heel complexe proces, een heel complexe procedure. En het leren van de taal is het beginpunt. En het leren van de taal kan jouw kansen in de arbeidsmarkt verbeteren. En het vergroot jouw inzetbaarheid. And yeah, so that is what, and so when I see that they are taking that initiative to learn the language and continue on their integration journey, and to think that I have been able to help them a little bit in taking their journey, taking them a bit further in their journey, that is my motivation. Therein I find my motivation, that okay, I have to do this for as many number of people as I can. That is what I think. And yeah, that is an enorme motivatie voor mij.
Leuk. Yeah, very nice. Thank you very much. And would you like to say where your potential clients can contact you in the future if they want to take lessons from you?
Yeah, I have a website of On Point. They can definitely have a look at the website. The website says the different batches that I am giving, the different segments of classes that I am giving. Also, it will tell them a little bit about why it is important to take these classes. And in the website, you will also find the list of all these different people, all these different students who have qualified their inburgering exam. So one way to reach me is by the website, but I am also there on LinkedIn and Facebook. So if you connect with me, then via these social media platforms, then definitely, you can reach me.
Thank you. And for the listeners also, I would like to say at the end of this interview also, you can find the contact address email from Chaitali. So thank you very much, Chaitali, and happy International Women's Day to all the listeners, also to you, Chaitali. Thank you very much for this interview. I hope you have a great day. Bye.
You too. And I thank you, Kritika, for this wonderful opportunity. It was great talking to you and sharing my experiences. And I hope that, students, listeners, they would, like hearing it. And have a good day, you too.
Thank you very much.